Hey, I'm coming in with a video similar to one I've done before, but in a way quite different. I about a year ago I posted a video called Chaotic Order, and in that video it had expressed some connections I had made from online and how they have planted seeds in my journey, and some of them didn't bloom until my adult years. Some of those seeds were planted decades ago. In this video, I kind of want to discuss something along those lines of the chaotic order video, and talking about somebody that actually helped me learn more depth of the definition of chaotic order. Um, so this is going to be a video where I am talking about somebody specific, and because of the condition of our relationship, I will not be mentioning names. I am actually not even talking to this person, so I don't want to put them out there if they don't want that. So I will just be talking about a friend that our friendship had recently dissolved, and I do take ownership for the failure of our connection. And I guess in a way I'm just trying to make it right with this video. And honestly, the only reason I'm putting this in video form is because regardless of if this is even seen by that person, because last I knew they had no interest in my videos anymore, so they may not even see it. But this is a huge part of my life, and it goes right along with my other YouTube videos in explaining my journey and the things that I've encountered, the people, the places I've encountered along the way that help form not just my opinions, but my mind and my spirituality and just my understanding. So, and I wouldn't even bother with putting any of these thoughts into a video unless I felt like it was God sent and important. So that's just what I'm doing here. So I guess this is Chaotic Order Part 2. Thing is, with each of those past connections that I mentioned in the Chaotic Order video, I'm not even able to find those people online, and they were all made online. I've been online since I was a young teenager, not even teenager yet. I think 12 was when I first started in like chat rooms and stuff like that. So those past connections, I mean, as important as they were to me and as much as I learned from them, they are those types of connections where I can't, it's out of my control. I can't locate them. I can't, you know, I can't do anything. They were the type, it was before social media was even really a thing with most of them. And then even the ones I've talked to after social media, it wasn't, none of them had it. None of them were on my Facebook or anything like that ever. So it's just something. And I did compare this connection to those because it was similar, but it was so different in so many ways too, where I actually I can locate this person on Facebook. I did have them on Facebook. I met them on Facebook. I can locate them on other forms of social media. I just was told not to. So I'm trying to stick to my own turf. So So yeah, it's a little different. So in this video, I just want to talk about one of the most influential connections I've made. Sorry, I have notes because there's so much. And still within this video, I'm not going to go into everything. I just want to cover the importance of it. And so yeah, so like all the other connections I've made online, I have disconnected from them. They disconnected from me. Most of the time they ghost me. And I do believe that's how it was meant to be. They were put in my life for a reason, teach me something, and then bounce. And I've been fine with that. I mean, some of them I did try to hold on to and try to find, but I've always kept my distance because I'm not one to chase after anybody, especially somebody I don't know in real life. So it's kind of weird that I'm making this video, but I do want it to also be, if by chance this person does see this video, I do want them to know that they are impactful, and they deserve to know. They deserve to know, like, how my video got cut off. So I will have to freaking, I was gonna just upload this, but anyways, now I'm gonna have to, whatever. Oh, okay. So, but unlike the others, this one is different in so many ways. Way stronger connection. I was actually able to visually interact with this one through, because like I said, the technology wasn't there back in the day. It's actually the first online connection I've ever actually had via camera. So it was different for me, but it was also so much more fulfilling in the way of trusting who I was talking to. So I know I wasn't being catfished. Although, yeah. And unlike the others, this one immediately contributed to improving my life. During the time I was in the connection, I was coming out of some dark moments of my life, dealing with family and friends and loss and just hard times and emotional times. And this one lifted me out of that, lifted my spirits. And then the disconnection of it actually jolted me into getting my shit together, which I needed to do. So I do understand that there was a reason why it was there and then why it ended. And and I mean, I hope that it can come back, but regardless, okay. So this specific relationship did not teach me about just the outside forces. It taught me a lot about me and myself, and helped me realize things that I am capable of. And I'm not even gonna get into details on why and how, but it really fed me. And I didn't know that I even was getting it at the time. It wasn't something I realized until after it was gone. And just by it going, it forced me to love myself and recognize myself for the good and the bad, because the dark side of me is what jacked it all up. So it did shine a big bright light on myself. So the loss of this one also is so different from the others. It was the most painful loss I've ever experienced online or offline. I mean, I know that sounds weird and most people won't understand that, but I was getting so much out of this connection and it was so fun. And the loss of it almost was like a death for me. I mean, I was hit more by that than the loss of my own grandmother, which actually I experienced that like right before the loss of this one. So, I mean, that's a whole nother, that one I was expecting. So it did kind of blindside me and it was kind of ripped away. And still, it's pretty harsh just because I don't know, I don't think there's anything I can do to get it back. So I'm just putting it on my little YouTube and yeah, okay. So I do know that this one was meant to play out just as it did in order to teach me exactly what it did and what I needed to learn, exactly when I needed to learn it. I mean, I have no doubt. And that's one of the things that realizing my past connections has helped me learn for this is everything happens for a reason. And not just past connections, also just experiences, life and work and like losing jobs or walking away from jobs. And that's a whole nother video on its own. So, so I do have hope. And my intuition does tell me that this was not just for a reason or a season. I do feel like this one's for a lifetime, regardless if we ever reunite in the physical form. It's kind of, I feel like the spirit of the connection is going to be with me forever. And I mean, that's comforting in a way, but I don't know. So I guess I'm just making this video in hopes that he sees it and understands the importance he played in my life. It's just, I mean, and it's for other reasons too. So regardless of if he decides to reach back out to me in the future, I do want him to know how special our connection was and how special he is and how I appreciated every moment spent learning, growing, laughing with him. And he's a true friend. And like I said in my mid-year review video, that I don't consider any true friendship over, even if they dump me or walk away. Because I've had a lot of friends exits. I don't consider over. I do consider them all as learning experiences, and they are all welcome back in my life. I have to pause this. Sorry, my husband keeps interrupting me. He's calling me and coming home and stuff. And just so anybody who does happen to watch this, and especially gets this far, because I know most people don't really care about my videos on YouTube, but my husband's fully aware of all my connections, all my people. He actually encourages it. So he'd rather, for male or female, whatever, but he would rather I talk to people that have the like mind like me. So there's no secrets between me and my husband. Well, me and anybody, I don't have secrets. I'm pretty upfront with what I do and the way I am. Sorry, my hair is bothering me now. Okay. I still just, okay, anyways. I just wanted him to know that regardless of all the toxic assumptions I had of him, even if there's any truth to any of them, which I kind of doubt, because I was accusing him of some pretty heinous things. And it's not that I believe them to be true. That was part of my learning experiences, that sometimes I let my mind overwork and overthink, and I think of all possibilities instead of filtering out the probable possibilities. And that was part of my problem with him was, and which sent him to be in the way of saying, screw you, don't talk to me, was because I'm pretty sure it's because of some of the things I was accusing him of. And the sad thing is he did not give me anything to even make me think that he's capable of doing me like that. So, but I do know what people are capable of, and I know people can be master manipulators and liars. And that's why I think I stuck it to him like that, because it just wasn't making sense to me, and it still doesn't make sense to me. But I truly, in my heart, I don't feel like those assumptions are true. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some truth to some of the things I said, but I said some pretty harsh things, and they were pretty bad, and I apologize for that. So regardless, even if they all were true, the worst of them, sorry, I hear something. So even if they were true, the worst of them, that he's the only connection, online or offline, that I want to reunite and strengthen. There's nothing that I accused him of that I wouldn't forgive, and that I don't forgive even the things I know that he kind of did that was kind of bogus, just by, giving up on me like that. It doesn't matter to me. And not that I'm not saying I'm just willing to take things from anybody, but I understand that we're all in survival mode, and sometimes we do shitty things to shitty, to shitty people. Sometimes we just do shitty things, and we gotta look out for ourselves. And I'm still not saying he did any of those things. I'm just saying I forgive it. I understand if things weren't all in the up and up. And if he does come back, I would think he may have changed in ways that I would never know, and that I would trust that he wouldn't do anything to screw me over. I mean, and that doesn't go with every connection, even like friends that I've lost. Like some of them, I put up with so much crap from them that was very minor, but over the years, it would add up to basically explaining to me that they don't care about me, and that they were just out to build their self up at my expense. So, and I'm talking like best friend status. Like, I don't want them back. I don't care if they come back. I will let them back, but I won't let any relationship that has ended, honestly, going forward, I wouldn't let any, and that is part of my problem. I've got a high guard up. At this point, I didn't always have it up. I was pretty open to people, but at this point, I am willing to let my guard down for this particular situation, just to find out, just to know if I don't know, just to salvage it. And it is one of those situations where I will not allow it to be a manipulative one. If he comes back and he gives me any red flags, then yeah, sure. I mean, I don't think I would handle it how I did last time, but I definitely would approach it differently and find out the truth instead of just assuming. So I do want to apologize directly to him about any strife or pain that I may have caused him. This is my notes too. And I'm sorry for going straight out crazy, because I do admit, I, and anybody that knows me, they know when I get pushed to a point, I do lash out verbally. And it is something I've been trying to work on regardless. And he really didn't get the extreme of my lashings. Thing is when I do lash out to that, I do try to be as honest as possible and take it to as true as possible, even if it's my truths in my head, which might be crazy to that person. But I do have, if I could just sit and not like attack, I can maybe explain to them why I was thinking that was a possibility. I do usually try to stick to just truths of non-disputable accounts, but it's kind of hard when you have a online relationship, connection, friendship with somebody, because there are so many blind spots. And typically when I lash out with somebody, I don't think I've ever lashed out on anybody online like I did this one. This was something reserved for like family, which they've all it's not funny. I'm working on myself. But what I'm getting at is when it's typically when I lash out like that, I know the truth. I know them. I know everything. I know their upbringing. I know how they've been to me. I know a lot of everything, the most of everything. So it really was not becoming of me. It was not appropriate of me to treat him like I would treat him, like I would treat a sibling or just anything. So I do apologize for that, because I did give him reason to call me fucking crazy and think I'm psychologically disturbed, when actually I'm more emotionally disturbed. I've been through a lot. I've dealt with a lot of people's crap, and emotionally I've hit a wall, and I just will not stand for abuse from anybody. Not even abuse, just neglect or just bullshit. So that's what I was confusing with him, because honestly, I don't think he was neglecting, abusing, doing anything wrong to me. I also will admit that I was getting a little bit on the, and this is something that he's taught me, trying to bright light on, but I was getting a little too codependent of our connection and conversations and friendship, which is not typical for me either in the way of friends. I usually reserve that for my spouse. Well, my boyfriend, spouse, whatever. So, I mean, I was just confused, and I still am kind of confused, and it's a lot. Gotta pause it. I keep having to pause it because my husband keeps popping around. He knows what I'm doing too. He knows I'm making this video, so he's trying to leave me alone. Okay, and I'm almost done. I'm sorry it's going on for so long, but honestly, if you don't care, don't freaking watch it. If no, I just gotta get this thought out. Just like the rest of my videos, there's things I gotta get out of my head. And I do want him to know that since our falling out, my life has changed for the better. So I mean, honestly, I don't even have words to express how thankful I am for the time we spent together and the time we spent apart. I mean, I will say though, I do miss him so bad, and Stormy misses him too, because Stormy would be right along with our little discussions quite often. Um, that's the thing. I miss his insight and his mind, and we we connected like on so many different levels that it was pretty intense for me, and I assume for him too. Um, it was just one of those great friendships, and I took it to a place of being clingy and needy and demanding and bratty, and I ruined it, and I understand that, and I hope that he knows that I apologize for that, and that if he ever does decide to come back in my life, I will do all I can to avoid that, because I do think I've changed in ways of acknowledging a lot of my faults. So I do love everybody, and I say that quite often because I do. I really do. I love everybody. I don't even care if you're my enemy. I love you. But there's just a select few that have really earned my love, and he's one of them, and kind of more so the most deserving of it, because the one thing he did teach me, and it was the first lesson I learned from our separation, was and it's funny, I've always kind of known this, and it's so funny because even since then I've even seen this lesson even more so in a lot of my studies, because I'm constantly researching and learning things. But the importance of loving yourself, and that was the initial thing, because I know what caused a lot of the rift between us was because I doubted myself, and I didn't give myself the love that I need. And everybody should do that anyways, and it's so much easier said than done. And it's so easy to say, yeah, I love myself. But when you really look and you see your dark sides, it's when you really know that there needs to be more love for yourself. So for him explaining that to me in such a harsh way, it's just, I mean, I can't love. I mean, he didn't really quite explain it to me in these ways, but he did say something along the lines of that were related to this, but it wasn't about love. But it's kind of like, if I can't love myself, then nobody else is gonna love me. And he, like I said, he didn't say with love. It wasn't about love. But that's kind of what I learned from that. And it ties in with so many things I was learning before he even, not even from him. It's just one of those life lessons that it just clicked for me because of what occurred. And it goes along with like helping people and stuff. It's like, if you can't, you got to help yourself to be able to help other people. It ties in with all kinds of things. And it's just, I get that now, and I get the importance of it. And I thank him for, because I am a little stubborn, and I do think I know everything. No, I know I don't know everything, but I do know I know a lot. And I thought I was in the right place, and I thought I was doing as I was supposed to be fully, but I got a little God smacked by this one. I learned I wasn't where I needed to be, and that is kind of what was keeping me stuck in having hard I don't even want to say hard feelings, but in a way just having any kind of sadness because of all the losses and the hits to my friendships and family relationships, is that I did let it affect me to where I thought I was less than. And by learning to fully love myself more than I had been, which I thought I was, I'm realizing that those do not impact my worth, my self-worth, and that I am deserving of love regardless of if people have taken it from me, or not even just love, just putting negativity on me. So I mean, I'm kind of going off track, but that's how deep this connection and disconnection was for me. It it impacted my core and what's most important, which is love. And I've been an advocate for love for I don't know how long, because that's, that's the basis of my mission, my life's journey, is just to love regardless while I'm living and loving myself. And it's just, I thank him for the pain that led to the growth. So, and that's another understanding I have, growing pains. It was definitely a growing pain. So, and I am actually trying to get this out before, because, not because of this necessarily, but because I was jolted into, I had to do something different. I had to make a change. So I did set into motion some plans, and my life is going to be busier, and I just wanted to get this out before I move on without this person that he pretty much launched me into this direction of collecting my blessings, because I was blocking them. I was stuck. I wasn't doing what I needed to do for myself to receive God's blessings. And even though it's been a hard time coping with the loss of this friendship, it, I hate to say it's like paying off. And I do know that it will, it wasn't because of the disconnection. It was just because of the wake-up call, the shock of it. So I do know that if it does ever come back into my life as a friendship again, its job, the negative side, the uncomfortable side of it, has served its purpose. It shouldn't keep arising, at least on my side. I don't see why it could, because I understand that I was putting expectations onto it that didn't belong to it. And there's just so much that can be said. And all in all, I do pray that he's doing well and doing whatever makes him happy. Because I have never met anyone that honestly deserves wellness and happiness more than this person. Because this person, I know, has done so much for so many other people and puts other people before themselves. And not just me. I just know he's God sent, so to anybody that knows him. And I also do encourage him to, hopefully he's learned that you can't fix anybody else's problems, even though you might, and you're very good at it, that you do need to love yourself too and take care of yourself. And don't give yourself away until there's nothing left, and then you're going crazy on somebody because you feel like they're not giving you what they deserve. Because when you take care of yourself, God will take care of you. So Well, when you take care of yourself, you can take care of other people a lot better too. That's another thing. So I'm not trying to be selfish or tell this person to be selfish, but I do know that they take a lot of other people's weights and put it on themselves. And then they also are too hard on themselves for the things that they may have caused in their own life, but they also really need to learn from those mistakes and move on and understand that they are worth forgiving and they should be forgiving other people for their mistakes. Regardless, if anybody sees this, you know, in a way it does kind of apply to every disconnection, friendship, relationship that I've had, because I have learned something, maybe not to this degree, but I do pray that everybody's doing well and happy and living in love. So, God bless. Love you lots. Toodles.